What's up, everybody? It's the podcast about everything. We're back. It's me, Jake, and I've got Joe with me. How are you, Joe?
I'm doing good, Jake. I'm enjoying the sunshine at this time. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm not bad. Not really a massive sun seeker myself. I'm actually in my living room right now, not out in the garden. Just don't fancy it, to be honest. I like a nice, cool environment.
Mate, it's beautiful out there. You've got to make the most of it. And it's bank holiday, so, why not? Got to enjoy it. If you can get out there and enjoy that sunshine, I'd say get out there. Personally.
Well, I went to the supermarket this morning, queued up for 20 minutes, so that's my sunshine for the day.
All right, I'd say that's fair enough. That's fair enough.
Right, so this week we're talking about something that I'd say everyone has experienced. We've all been there. We've all done them. We are talking about the beautiful thing that is house parties. House parties, guys. We've all been there. We've all done it. You know, we've been that age where we weren't old enough to go out to a venue, but we can go to someone's house and drink. So me and Joe got plenty of stories. Joe, house parties. Give me what was your first experience?
My first experience at house parties. Let me set the tone for you. So I was probably 14, 15 years old, around about that age. And let me put it into context. At that time, you're talking early 2000s. So you're talking American Pie had recently come out. You know, those kind of American type films, TV shows like The OC, where you see these house parties glamorized. So for me, going to a house party at that age was exciting, right? Because I felt like I was going to be able to experience something that I'd seen on TV in a movie.
Yep.
And my first experience, was brilliant. It was great. I was around about that age, as I mentioned, sort of 15 years old, and it wasn't without issue though. Okay, so for me, it was a school friend who had the house party, a girl. To get in there was already the first issue. Okay, so I had to overcome that hurdle. We have a printed off map from the AA website, okay, to get the directions from the train station to the house to walk there, and eventually the excitement is building. Okay. And then you get there and you're there. And then all of a sudden, Jake, I'm posed with many questions. Okay. Many questions. My first question was, who the hell are them guys? Okay. Right. So I'm gonna ask you. I don't know if you've experienced the same. Have you ever been to a house party? Right. And there's a load of guys there, a load of boys from another school who you don't know. Okay.
Yeah, it's like it's another wolf pack coming into your territory. You're like, what's going on?
I was unaware they were going to be there, right? And already I felt like, okay, what are they eating at that school? Because all of them were about a foot taller than me, right? They all had beards. I was like, are you sure these guys are the same age? Because they look like adults, right? So that kind of got me a bit nervous to begin with. I was thinking, okay, I'm here to try and impress these girls that, have invited me and some of my mates to this house party, and all of a sudden they're the other boys, right? Then there was always these other boys. So that was a bit nerve-wracking. And then there's the thing about, like, what do you do about drink, right? So I don't know if you had this issue. Do you bring drink? Do you not bring drink? I mean, there were people there with drink. And my question is, like, where were they getting this drink from? I don't know, Jake. Were you drinking at these house parties?
Yes. So, like you, the first time I went to, I was the same age, 15. But the drink, it was a girl's birthday, and the drink was put on by the parents. Which, I don't know, depending on your view on parenting, is wrong or right. I don't know. But we liked it. I'll go into that story once you finished yours. But yeah, I've had that. I have had that problem where you're like, shite, where do I get the drink from?
Okay, so where my one differs slightly is that this girl who was having the house party, her parents weren't there, right? So they'd gone away for the weekend. I'm pretty sure they didn't know about this house party. And I would say there was sort of between 10 and 15 of us in total. Okay, so some girls, some boys, and some of these random boys from the other school. So we get there anyway, and I didn't know what to do about drink. I certainly didn't buy drink, so I just like basically chipped in my fiver. Had a few drinks, nothing too crazy. I'll never forget my first house party for this one main reason, was because that's where my heart was broken for the first time.
There it is.
My heart was shattered into pieces at that first ever house party. So one of the girls who was there, and that was my main big reason for going. I was a bit, young love. I was really into this girl, and it just so happened that I find out when I get there, one of the reasons why the other boys were there is because she was just started going out with one of these other boys, and it was his mates. So I didn't let that dampen my spirits. I enjoyed my drink and got chatting and Still had a really good time with everyone that was there and my friends. And yeah, I mean, I'm not going to say that I was drunk, but I was merry, as you do when you're not really drunk much before. And we enjoyed the social element of being there together because, man, at that age, what else are you going to do?
Nothing.
Apart from hanging around the street corner, what else are you going to do? So yeah, it was good, but my heart was broken, Jake.
Awful.
How about you?
So a little bit like you, same age, probably same year, 2001 or two, maybe. Wait, 15, yeah, 2002. Okay, yeah, it would have been that year. So it was a girl's birthday. She'd invited her friends and some of us, all right, some of us guys. The problem was this girl was my first ever crush. The first ever crush I ever had at school. She made it clear earlier in the year that she didn't want to be with me like that, and I was like, okay, that's kind of shit, but whatever. I somehow got friend zoned, which was not that great, but I had to go over it anyway.
No, that's
so anyway. So anyway, she's then invited me to the party and stuff. At this point, I'm still thinking, well, I could change her mind. I didn't give up. I could change her mind. This, that, and the other. So let me see the picture. We've been invited to this party. Reality was I didn't have a chance, but I thought I might have done. So me and my friends were all chatting. We're like, okay, let's go. Let's go. What should we wear? So we said, okay, cool. Let's just put some jeans on or whatever. And then what happened was, it was 2002, the World Cup. Italy brought out that tight-fitting Kappa shirt. I didn't have the figure for that, so I bought the polo. So my friend turned up wearing his tight-fit Italy top with a pair of jeans, and then I turned up wearing the polo with a pair of jeans, looking at some of the backfield staff. All right, the guy who supports the manager. Anyway, regardless, we get to the party, right? And her parents are there, her family's there. We knock on the door, the dad lets us in or whatever. It's all okay. And she said, "Oh, there's some boys here." And then I heard someone going, "Oh, that's that Jake guy, right? That's that Jake guy. That one you were talking about." And I was like, "Oh shit." I was like, so something's been said here, and I'm gonna feel so embarrassed. Anyway, it was fine. All right, the whole party was cool. We had a few drinks. Like I said, the parents put the drinks on. All right. I don't know. I'm not going to be doing that for my kids, all right, or anyone else's, all right. So, still remember that time. I'm still 15 years old. My mum and dad were like, "Well, you ain't staying out too late." They were kind of strict. I was like, "Okay, look." I was like, "Let's be honest. I didn't know nothing about parties." I was like, "Come get me at 10 o'clock, all right? Pick me up at 10 o'clock. Everything will be done and dusted." Anyway, 10 o'clock rolls around, all right. I've gone home. I've come back on the Monday to school, all right. And then I've heard it all fucking went wild at about 11 o'clock when the parents went to bed. Because fucking Spin the Bottle came out.
Oh, wow.
Right? Okay. Everybody was kissing everybody. So if I had an opportunity, I fucking blew it because I was ignorant to what was going on around me.
That is interesting, right? Because on the converse of that, okay, if you didn't get it the other way, if you'd have been part of that Spin the Bottle, okay, and say, for example, the girl that you liked, she'd have spun the bottle and got somebody else and had to get off with someone else. Would that not have because that would have killed me personally to see that happening live, or would that have been okay for you? Would you have dealt with that?
Well, there was a backup there, so it didn't really matter.
You had options then, yeah?
Well, options in the sense that there was other girls there, not options in the sense that they would have wanted me. I just hold on to chance.
That's the beauty of Spin the Bottle, I think. At the end of the day, so you get what you're given. So
that was my first experience. But yeah, 15 years old, I loved it. But I didn't really start again until probably a year or two later. Maybe 16, 17 is when the real hearts party started happening. And that's where the real stories begin.
But it's funny that, isn't it? Like, even the way you say it there, that when you first start going to house parties, you're doing it because there's maybe nothing else really to do, and you don't have that place you can go. You can't go to a pub or a club, so you're enjoying that first drink for the first time with the people that you're close to.
Yeah, definitely. And also, I used to find at house parties there was always the same characters there. All right, let me run through some of them for you. There was usually the girl, not the guy. Usually the girl who turned up drunk. All right.
Yes.
She'd been drinking already.
Yes.
All right. So the chances were she probably weren't going to make it through the night. She's going to throw up somewhere. Maybe find her at the bottom of the garden. All right, in just a very, very big mess. You had that person. You then had I called this person the stranger because it was someone you didn't know. All right, it was a friend of a friend who was brought along. All right, just for the sake of it. So this guy or girl is standing there all night, just looking confused and out of place because you're at that age where no one's really making an effort to talk to strangers or anyone they don't know. So this person's there and he or she is just constantly following his friend around or her friend around all through the party. That's all it is.
Yeah, but you know what's funny about that is that so often that was me and you. So we've been friends pretty much since we were tiny, and we went to different schools. So how often was it that actually I'd bring you along or you'd bring me along to these house parties? So we wouldn't know anybody, and we'd be that person, wouldn't we? Half the time.
It's true. I mean, in hindsight, it was good because you sort of learned how to make friends.
Yeah.
Like you were forced into that position where you had to talk to people, or else you'd have a shit night. But it was good. It was good. Like I personally enjoyed it. You know, it was a nice breakaway from other things. But as I say, as the years went on, the parties became less tame. For example, there was no parents there, right? And stranger, weird, and wonderful things were happening. I'm gonna go through some with you.
Okay.
One particular party, I believe you were also there at that point. It was some girl I went to school with. She was having a house party. Basically, I think her parents were renovating the house, and they said, like, look, just have a house party because if something gets trashed, it doesn't matter because we're renovating the house. Everything had been pulled out, X, Y, and Z. All right. Actually, on that note, may I say, anyone who ever held a house party, I respect that person. All right. I respect that person because they managed to convince their parents, if their parents knew, all right? Because my parents would never let me have a house party. Nor would I want one because I saw what happened to other people's.
That's the thing. It's nice going to other people's, right? But you wouldn't want to take the risk of hosting one.
No, I've seen what happens. It's disgusting.
Anyway. Yeah, but on that note, some things happen by accident, by the way. Like, I remember maybe it was like my second or third house party. I broke a tap.
See, this is your admission of guilt now. The way you just like,
but genuinely, I don't know how. I honestly didn't use any excessive force. It was the tap in the kitchen. It was one of those where you kind of pull it up for it to turn on. I just pulled it out, literally wanted a glass of water, pulled it up. Next thing I know, it's off. It's in my hand, and everyone's looking at me, and I didn't know what to do or say. Lucky the girl's parents, like they took it real well, I suppose, or as far as I know, they probably went batshit crazy when they found out about. They didn't like call me up and beg me for money or anything. So
we invited back.
Well, yeah, they were never there when we had the house parties. They didn't know who was coming.
What do they know?
Yeah, I should have just blamed on one of the other boys, but anyway.
Yeah. So anyway, at this party, all right, so there's this guy there who I knew, all right, and he was infatuated with this girl there, all right, and all night he was like geeing himself up. He was like, yeah, I was gonna talk to her. I'm like, yeah, do it. Like, no, yeah, just give me a minute. I'm like, okay. All night this is going on. It's going on all night. Backwards and forwards. I said, look, you just gonna go talk to her or what? So I said, yeah, I'm gonna go find her. Anyway, he asked around for her and he was told she was upstairs in one of the rooms. He's walked in. She's having a threesome with two of his friends.
Oh my days!
Yes, you were there. Not there.
I was not in that room, Jake.
No, neither was I. I'm just saying. We were in the vicinity at the time.
Okay, just watch your accusations, all right?
I'm not saying anything. We were in the vicinity when that happened. All right.
Do you know? I didn't remember that at all.
No, I didn't know until that Monday. I was like, when did that happen? That's just a sign of how big this party was and how much different stuff was going on. At one point, some guy kicked the bathroom door down, or smashed the window through it, stuff like that.
Jesus.
Yeah, that one got particularly out of hand.
This is probably why there's a legal limit on people drinking, right? Like an age, you have to be a certain age, and
well, yeah, like I reckon half of us were 17 and half of us were 18, so 50% of us were in the right.
Yeah, makes me breaking a tap look pretty soft, actually.
Exactly. So don't worry, a tap is nothing. Yeah. What we should really focus on is not the broken door or the broken tap. It's that man's poor broken heart walking in and seeing that.
What a way to find out, though, that your crush is not into you.
Well, yeah, she's into a lot of things. A lot of people.
A lot of things are into her. But anyway, it's
at least two.
Jeez,
Go on. Let's just say.
So I'm lost for words. I didn't know what to say. I just shocked by that. Who'd have thought as well? At that kind of age, these things happen. But It's that mix, isn't it? It's weird. The house party. It's hard to explain, but it's like you transported to a different universe where anything goes, right? And everyone's drinking, and it's a bit like just being in this place where there's no rules, or the rules are the lines are blurred, and basically what happens at the house party stays at the house party. But obviously, we all know that's not true, right?
No, definitely not true. It all comes out. It stays there for the 24 hours after, like the Sunday. But it'll come the Monday when everyone's like back to school, back to work, college, whatever, and everyone's talking about it. Wow, it's that's some weird stuff. I mean, you must have seen some pretty weird stuff too, right?
No, most definitely. Like one of the funniest things that I ever remember happening at a house party was I was probably late teens, so 17ish, and sixth form house party at my mate's house, and we started getting into a habit really that we were doing this quite often. So we might do sort of 2 a month, right? And his parents would be there and they'd be happy for us to do it because they had like a separate garage, right, where we'd be able to basically go chill out, drink, and everything else. And one of my mates, he would come along and he would always bring his camera. Video camera, and he would film basically throughout the night as people were getting more drunk, and it'd be great because the next day we'd all stay over, switch the film on, watch it back, and just laugh in hysterics at all the funny stuff that happened the night before. Apart from this one time where we switched it on, and what happened was one of the other guys at the party, he kind of like borrowed the camera for a bit, and to our surprise, he had taken the camera to the bathroom and filmed himself taking a piss. What? I mean, like, point of view, taking a piss, yeah. So that was quite a shock, I must say, but very, very funny at the time, and etched in my memory for all the wrong reasons, I'm afraid. So that was definitely one of the funniest things I remember. How about you? Anything that stands out as just being just really, really funny?
Other than that girl getting double checked? Well, actually, that wasn't funny, I suppose.
That was cruel, man. You find that funny?
like now I can laugh about it because like it was at the point I felt bad for the guy, but it's been many years now. Let me think. God, it's a big blur. Mainly because I was probably too drunk to remember any of them. Okay, here's one. Well, I don't know. You might not find this funny, but I found this hilarious. All right, so we went to a house party early sixth form days, so like 16, 17. And there was a lot of bravado amongst the guys, who can drink, who can't drink, who's tough, who's not tough, X, Y, and Z. So me and a friend of mine were having lunch at the cafe near the school, whatever. And some of the guys walk in and say, "Oh, you going to the party Saturday?" We're like, yeah, we're going. And then they start ribbing us, saying, "Oh, you guys, you can't drink. You're all wimps, you're pussies, X, Y, and Z." My friend's getting really angry. And I said to him, "Don't get angry." He's like, "Why? They're really insulting." I said, "Don't. I've got an idea." So anyway, this friend of mine, he came from a Greek family, and the Greeks drink this drink called zivania, I think is what it's called. Okay. It's a very strong alcohol. It smells like petrol. So I said to him, if these people think you can drink, before we go to the party, I'm going to come to your house just before we go to the party, bring that bottle of zivania with you. We'll let them try that and see how they go. He was like, all right, great. So anyway, I got to his house. We're raiding his mum and dad's like alcohol cupboard. We can't find it. We don't know where this bottle is. We can't. So we have to go for the next best thing, which is grappa. Now, for anyone who doesn't know what grappa is, grappa, the only way it's a spirit made from grape skins, and the only way I can describe it is sambuca, but without the aniseed taste.
It's pretty lethal.
It's vile. It's just horrible stuff. Okay. So anyway, we got to the party. Everyone's getting leery again. We're like, try a bit of this. They tried it. And within 10, 20 minutes, everyone's having shots. Everyone's falling all over the place. All right. Who's thrown up in a garden? Who's thrown up in the bathroom? Like, there's this big rugby player kid who thought he was all that. Gave him a shot. He even hit him pretty hard. He was like, wow, what is that? One guy got well cocky and started grabbing the bottle off us and drinking through the bottle. Well, I'll tell you what, we messed them up. All right. If we could afford it, we'd have fed them petrol. All right. But that's all right. Right. That was hilarious. All right. These guys who thought they were tough weren't so tough. Yeah, you sure you're tough when you drink 10 Smirnoff Ices? Drink some real drink. Then tell me if you're tough.
See, that's funny, right? Because you just started making me thinking, like, what was I drinking at 15, 16 years old? Because basically, you were drinking whatever you could get your hands on, right?
Yeah, yeah,
You know,
whatever,
whatever was
whatever.
there. And I was thinking back to those early house parties, we were drinking a lot of wine. I mean, that was pretty much
Very
the go-to
sophisticated.
drink because
You
basically,
sophisticated kids.
well, no, you know what it was? I think people were just nicking it from their parents, like, their parents'
That's
wine
true.
collection.
Yeah.
So,
You're probably drinking like a 30, 40 bottle of Merlot that cost them hundreds of pounds and just smashing it down.
do you know, this is what I was just thinking. Like, God knows what the wine was. I don't know what it were called. I just remember, like, you turn around and someone's passing you a cup of wine, and we were just down in this wine, and yeah, I mean, it could have been really expensive stuff. I don't know. All I know is I turn up with my £5, pass it on, and say, "Yeah, give me the drink," And God knows where they were getting it from. I can only imagine. But yeah, eventually we moved on to the stuff that you were saying, the Smirnoff Ices, the WKDs, and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, yeah. On the subject of drinks, this was always my gripe. So I would always bring drink to the party. Everyone would. Right? Whatever you get your hands on, you bring it. Fair play. What used to annoy me, and I used to put it in there, but like, help yourself, this, that, and the other. The sort of people used to really fucking wind me up were the people who used to bring the drink, all right, stick it on the table, and then they're almost hoping that no one drinks it so they can then take it home with them again. All right, so
Okay.
It looks like they put the effort in, but they're not really wanting to put the effort in. Those sort of people are trash. All right, I don't want. They're not welcome at any of my parties.
So they bought a drink for themselves, basically. They didn't want to share the drink.
Yeah, but they put it out, so like you could tell, they put it out, but very sort of reluctantly they put it out. But then you always used to get but then you had the other level where like you'd always have one guy who would like, he was a bit of a big bollocks and was like, he'd bring the best drink he could find, like premium vodka. Like, I don't know. What was that JD? You know the JD that was in like the fancy packaging? Is it like Gentleman's Jack or something?
Yeah.
Something like that, yeah. Some guy bought that once. We didn't know what the hell it was. But we drunk it.
You had it. That's expensive stuff as well.
I know, but I'm guessing he stole it off his parents or something. I don't know. We weren't at the age where we could buy things like that.
But so what you're saying is then, generally speaking, even to this day, at the age we are now in our early 30s, it is a social faux pas to bring a drink to a party and then want to take it back again.
Yeah, no, you bring it on the premise of you're going to share it with people, or it's for whoever is hosting that party. Don't bring it back. But if you bring it back, you're not going to come back in if there's another one. I'm very fortunate as well that all the house parties I went to, no matter how rowdy they got, no one ever called the police. The neighbours were always okay. So I never had that experience. I mean, that sounds like it could have been quite fun in a sense, but yeah, that never happened to us.
Yeah, and that's the thing that you see in the films and TV shows, isn't it?
Yeah.
You would see that getting shut down by the police, but yeah, I don't think we ever got that crazy, even though they were lively at times. So we talked a bit about the funniest things that happened, and maybe those times where hearts were broken in the process of being at a house party. Do you know as well? It was making me think about the pukers. I want to talk a little bit about the pukers because the pukers, these guys ruin the house party, right? They ruin the house party.
Yeah. Sometimes you got to go home just because they can't hold their drink.
Yeah, mate. Yeah, and being involved in having the puke, hit your skin is quite horrific.
Honestly, that has never happened to me.
Okay, it's happened to me plenty of times. So there's somebody that we know, a mutual friend of ours. We're going to respect the fact that he's going to remain anonymous in this, but he's a puker, and he's always been a puker. And I remember vividly being at house parties, 15, 16, 17 years old, where he would chunder because he basically cannot take his drink to an extent. Part of the problem was he would drink just far too much, okay? And he has this real gag reflex, particularly if he takes shots. And the second you have a shot, when you're that age and you're not really experienced in doing it, he would chunder. And I mean, inside, outside, it would be everywhere. And it would definitely ruin the party. I'm against the chunderers, Jake.
Well, it depends. Was it tactical? You know about the tactical chunder. Was it tactical what he was doing? Tactical chunder, the whole... You get to that level where it's just like, oh, yeah, I think I need to be sick so I can drink more. I think the Romans used to do that when they used to have those big feasts and stuff. But yeah, was it tactical chundering or was it just literally he was just...
Well, now you say it makes sense because he'd always feel much better afterwards. So I'm guessing
there you go.
Maybe it was tactical. It was definitely involuntary at times. That's for sure. But yeah, I'm against the pukers in any place at any time.
When you're talking about the shots, actually, that just triggered my memory. The same guy that when I said to him, take a shot of tequila, he's like, no. I said, do it. He's like, no, because I'm going to be sick. I'm like, don't, stop being a wimp, just do it. And I kid you not, he was right. He took the bottle, he swigged the bottle, he looked at me and said, I think I'm going to be sick. He's run off to the toilet, and you heard the stages of the vomit. It was like, like that. It was violent. it was not great.
Yes, hopefully that kind of stuff is confined to memory. Yeah, we're much more upper class now, and when we go to house parties nowadays, they're in a very different tone, right? Because when you're younger,
no one's doing what we were doing.
But they change over time, don't they? Because you have that stage in your life between young house parties and old house parties where you're going out, you're enjoying your socializing, you're maybe trying to go out and peacock and meet people and everything else. And then you basically get to a point in your life where you're like, mate, I ain't got the effort or the will to do this anymore, right? I'm basically giving up on outside socializing, right? Why don't we all just get together, order some pizzas, have some drinks, play some games, this kind of stuff. And house parties, they evolve, right? As you evolve into an adult, they evolve too.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't see myself at the age I'm at now doing the things that we were doing then. I mean, I don't know if it still happens. Maybe there is like 30-somethings still living that lifestyle. I don't know. But yeah, it does evolve. It's not as exciting anymore. You still have a good time, but the whole tone is different. Like you said, it's just more relaxed. Like there's no need to prove yourself. No one's going 100 miles an hour. Well, I don't know. Some people might. Everyone's just having a laugh, sipping a drink. You know, none of this like shots and whatever else it is they're doing. I think one party I actually went to as well. Some of the guys, I don't know why they did this. They managed to go upstairs. They were drunk as hell. They got into the bathtub fully clothed and just started showering themselves down because they were so drunk.
Wow.
It's
That's what, so they left the clothes on. I mean, I don't know what's worse, leaving them on or taking them off, to be honest. But
yeah, it was just some of it just didn't make any sense.
Again, it goes back to that kind of like paradox world, doesn't it? Where it's like a different place where anything goes. Basically, anything goes in that period of time.
It is a free for all. But I used to find that they would sometimes. So whatever happened at a house party, how big of the event was, that would then cement who you were for the remainder of that period of time when you was in school or uni. Like they made you in some ways. Like people always remember you for what you did.
That's
Don't
true.
you think?
No, absolutely. The stories, they do stick with you. There's people now, even from, again, sort of back in the early 2000s, who that is pretty much the things they did at house parties are pretty much the only thing I remember about these people. You know, I don't remember much else happening to them or about them, but I remember, you know, the things that they did, be it like who they kissed, you know, or how drunk they got. I remember bush diving, and now that is not a euphemism. Bush diving being the thing.
What it is.
That's exactly, it is what it says on the tin. People getting so drunk at a house party, they'd go out into the back garden and just jump into the bushes like something out of Jackass. And as one specific person, that is literally my overriding memory of that guy. That he got drunk and he used to love go bush diving. So it's...
I've seen I've seen someone attempt to give beer to the pet cat.
Wow.
I don't know. I stopped that. I was like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "It's a laugh." I'm like, "Well, it's not really a laugh, is it?" But maybe at that point, I'd not had that much to drink, and I'd only just got to the party where he was gone, far gone. I once stopped my friend jumping down a whole flight of stairs because he had way too much to drink and thought he could fly. That was quite bad.
It's just basically, there's a key here, isn't it? Which is like, try not to mix alcohol with hormones, okay, of young, rowdy teenagers who are still getting their shit together in their brains and their bodies. And all of a sudden, you give them a load of alcohol and you're bound to get good stories, bad stories, and everything else in between, aren't you?
Yeah. I mean, it's a real sock drawer of events. Some stick out, some you want to forget, some you like, some you just like to, you know, just to cherish. Memories you want to cherish for forevermore. But we spoke about a lot of the good and funny things that happened about house parties. Now, there must have been some real, absolute, atrocities of house parties you've been to where they've just been not worth going to. Not worth going to at all.
Do you know, funnily enough, the way you mentioned that, they really coincide with probably my least favourite night out of the year, which is New Year's Eve.
Hate it.
So
absolutely hate it. Bar humbug to New Year's Eve.
Oh, do you know what? And the house party I
Shit.
thought would be a saving grace for New Year's Eve, because when I've been out to a club or a pub or something like that on New Year's Eve, generally speaking, it's been terrible. Everything's overpriced and people are crazy and they're drunk, and it costs you like 20-30 quid just to get into a club where you'd normally pay a fiver, and yeah, it's terrible. So naturally you'd think house party, okay, you get together the people you want to be around and you do it for free. Basically, you bring your own drink and you have a good time. Okay, it doesn't work. I don't know why. It must be something about that day, okay, where the stars align within the universe. I mean, you're going to have a terrible time. Okay?
I think you're putting too much pressure on it. That's what it is. You feel like you have to have a good time. You feel like you have to do this. You have to, a new year started, new year, new me, all that bollocks. No, all right? It's just another fucking day, like any other day is. All right, it's just the end of the year, all right? But yes, you do think a house party is it saves you from having to go out. Basically, it's like you said, to an overpriced club, which is the same as it is on any other day. It's just got a fancy title, all right? Special New Year's Eve bash, New Year's Eve extravaganza, whatever. It's shit. But yeah, on that subject, Joe, all right, speaking of New Year's Eve and bad house parties, in my mind, you stuck out after a little story that you told me. I say a story I'm going to tell, more of a way you sold it to me. So let's go back.
We were 19, so you're talking about mid 2000s. Was 2006 maybe, something like that, 2007. Around about time.
Something like that. So we're both at uni, all right, separate unis. Joe's living out at this point. I'm not, because I'm quite a local uni. So the only sort of experience I've had through uni or going out, partying uni has been when I go and visit my friends. So I get invited to this house party that Joe's friend's hosting. And he's like, oh, come, it's going to be great. I'm thinking to myself, you know what? I've seen these uni parties on the TV, all right? No, there's that, all right? These guys are all part of an athletics team. So there's that, all right? There's going to be girls everywhere. It's going to be an absolute shoot fish in a barrel. It's going to be a good time, all right? So I'm getting hyped. I'm like, yeah, don't even have to ask me twice. I'm there, all right? Let me tell you. What I experienced was the complete opposite to what I thought it was going to be. It was an absolute disaster.
I was sold a lie, Jake. That's all.
Well, there you go.
Listen, give me a chance to defend myself. Okay, I bigged it up because I was sold a lie. Okay, so my friend, so we're talking about traveling from sort of middle of Hertfordshire down to South London. Yeah, Southwest London, and for a house party. And I was told, look, you gotta come, bring your friends. It's going to be amazing. There are going to be so many girls, and this guy, to be fair, he was a bit of a Lothario, and so I believed him. I just thought, okay, he knows a few people. He's probably going to be full of, all the kinds of people we're hoping to meet. And okay, Jake, I know you're upset about it. I'm upset too. Okay, we're both victims in this. Okay, so don't feel let down by me. I feel let down by the host.
Joe. You sold me a dream.
So. There was no women there. I mean, it was just guys. It was just blokes. And
it was the biggest sausage pie. They should have called it a Southwest London sausage pie. That's what they should have called it. All right.
Well,
I might as well have gone to a New Year's Eve party with my parents. All right. That probably see more action. Tell you the truth.
And do you know what was worse as well is that we were still sold a lie, even while we were there. Okay, so it was still like, oh yeah, they're coming, they're on their way. They never turned up. I mean, we were there for that whole night, and there was no one. It was just us. It was just the guys, and I find myself then at that point, and I remember sitting there in the spare room in that flat, in front of the PC, watching YouTube, which was quite, I think, relatively new at that time.
Yeah,
watching videos, including the angry German kid who smashed up his computer because he's losing at Football Manager, and the Numa guy. This was the height of the party for me. Was sitting here watching videos on YouTube. So it's without a doubt one of the worst house parties I've ever been to.
It was It doesn't even deserve to be in the archives. It should be completely forgotten. It's just, it was. Do you know what? I can't even talk about it anymore because it's making me angry. there's Joe, I don't know. Give me worse if you've got worse, because I don't think anything can top that.
Okay, well, I'll give you slightly worse. So the other New Year's Eve house party I went to, I would say it was worse because not only were there just a group of guys, but there was about 6 of us. We were in the smallest flat in the world that I've ever been to. Literally, there were no chairs to sit down. You had to sit on the floor. And
you couldn't even like stand around and dance or anything.
No, there was no space to dance or move or anything like that. It was like a shared flat, and the shared like living room was just full of junk basically. So we had to sit on the floor and chat. And at 12:05, I left. could not wait to get out of there. Basically, wow. I think there was a TV on in the background. We saw the fireworks, first few minutes of the fireworks, and I was like, make my excuses. I gotta go. You know, I gotta do something in the morning. Family meal, right? That was probably what the
family breakfast.
Family breakfast. So you make my excuses and go.
About 4 or 5 years ago, New Year's Eve, I was sick with like the worst flu ever. All right. And that still does not sound as bad as that, to be honest with you.
Do you know why? Because if you're sick and you're at home, okay, or you don't have any plans and you're at home, at least you're at home, you can do your own thing. And if you want to go to bed, you go to bed. You go to somebody else's house, you feel like you have the need to socialize, to be there, to not leave early, and to take part, basically. And if it's just a terrible house party, you feel kind of trapped. Yeah, you don't want to let people down, right? So in a way, I think I would have rather have been sick with food poisoning and had to go to those 2 house parties I mentioned. I would say
they were bad. They were bad. So house parties. I should have mentioned this earlier, but my first introduction to what a house party was, I must have only been 8, 9, maximum 10. When I actually was around my cousin's house, who are a bit older, and they were actually watching the House Party film. You ever seen the film House Party? It's like a cult film.
Yeah, a long time ago.
There's like there's 3 house parties. There's house party 1, 2, and 3. Anyway, so I'm watching this film at such a young age of a child, that tender young age, and there's like all sorts going on. There's people dancing downstairs, people dancing upstairs, like people having dance off. Like the best friend brings their DJ kit and stuff, and he's like he's judging a rap battle, and I'm just like, wow, is this what I'm going to grow up to do? Like, is this what house parties are going to be like? None of the house parties I've ever been to were anything like House Party. Nothing like. And if you ever seen a House Party film, all right, where the 2 guys kid and play, have a little dance off with the 2 girls who they sort of fancy, all right, don't actually ever think that's what's going to happen, all right, because it doesn't. All right, never ever did I experience that type of house party. There was good ones, but nothing like the film. Never.
See, this is the problem. I guess we missed out on the 80s and the 90s type house parties. You know, we were in the 2000s, and
I would have smashed it up with a high top. I would look great in a high top.
What about the dance?
Well, I'd probably need some practice. I'd do my best. But yeah, so house parties. There it is. I guess we've shared some experiences with you. Good, bad, ugly, heartbreaking. Just some were just downright terrible. So that's us on house parties. You got anything more to add, Joe?
Just there were the best of times and there were the worst of times, basically. But now, wholeheartedly, when I look back, it's full of good memories, and those young people are experiencing it now. You know, you'll get to a stage where you'll stop. But let me tell you, I'm sure it will start all back up again for you when you get to a certain age. You're like, do you know what? I just want to be able to enjoy the company of my friends without all the glitz and glamour you might get from going to a nightclub. So expect that you'll end up back there once again. And they're all good. They ain't that bad. Come on.
I don't know, man. Those 2 we just mentioned were pretty dismal.
Yeah, but compared to all the good ones we had, come on.
That's true. Yeah, you're going to get a couple of baddies in a good bunch, I guess. A couple of bad eggs. A couple of bad eggs in the box.
Hey, look, half the friends that me and you have, we have probably because we used to go to house parties with each other and go and meet people we didn't know. So, you know, you build those friendships, don't you, at the same time?
Yeah, and it's something we can talk about. You know, we can go back down memory lane and let them know that it was good or it was bad or it was just weird, downright weird. So yeah, that's us on house parties. Thanks for listening. We're setting some socials up. Not socials in a social where we're gonna have a house party because it is lockdown and we're not doing things like that at the moment. Don't break the rules. Socials in the sense of social media. So we've got an Instagram up, which is TPAE, the podcast about everything. So it's TPAE 20. If you search that, you should be able to get that. We've got a YouTube page. Search the podcast about everything. It's fairly new, so you might have to scroll down a little bit before we get to it. And soon we should be moving to Spotify. So yeah, thanks for tuning in. It's goodbye from me.
Yeah, goodbye from me too.
Okay, cool. We'll see you later, guys.